Welcome to
The Neapolitan
Scoop Podcast.
My name is Steph.
My name is Shay.
And my name is Rose. Thank you for tuning in to the Neapolitan Scoop Podcast, where you will get your weekly scoop. If you have not subscribed to the podcast, what are you waiting for? Go subscribe right now. Before we jump in, a quick disclaimer. First of all, I'm going to be a little slurry, and so are the girls. We've been drinking before recording. So it's not that we have a list. We're just a little drunk. But quick disclaimer, other than that, our content is created for adult audiences only. We advise listener and viewer discretion for depictions of violence, sexuality, discussion of mental illness, and downright existential crisis, as well as filthy language. It might be a lot to take in sometimes, so if you need a break, go ahead and take it and come right back. Today's topic, the reason why we're drinking, Hurricane Beryl. Hurricane Beryl made landfall as a Category 1 hurricane in Matagorda, Texas, with impacts continuing up to north and northeast with strong winds, heavy rains, and flooding. While we were fighting for our lives here, Hot Wheels, aka the governor of Texas, aka Greg Abbott, was taking his sweet trip out of town and somewhere in Asia. But before we start continuing politics, let's take it to Shay. Let's give it to Shay for some questions.
You know what? That just gave me a question. Why in the hell is he always out of town every time a hurricane comes? This man is never here. He's always gone.
I mean, he's always gone. It's not just hurricanes. It's all the time.
His wheels too high.
Stationary.
They can't.
Your brakes.
They're like the magic Subas.
He'd be like SpongeBob. All right, I'm out.
Legit.
That's a good question.
He said, I'm not fixing to deal with the politics behind this hurricane. Let me leave. Let me have a good time, and then I'll be back to handle him.
Maybe he can like on a
podcast. Yeah, okay. I just feel like it's like abandoning your ship. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's like a captain abandoning his ship when shit gets worse. Like, every time something happens, he's never here. Like, granted, okay, sure, he's probably never here. You are the governor for the state of Texas. Be here sometimes. And then when you're not here, when your people need you, it gives a bad impression of you as a leader of our state when you're never here when we need you the most. Like, I feel like, granted, I get it, you handicapped, but I need you to be outside with the people.
I mean, that's more reason for him
to struggle with the people.
More reason for him to be in one position. Like, sir, you need to sit down. Literally, like, sit your ass down.
He's already sitting down. He needs to stop rolling around.
Like, sir,
I'm going to hell.
I'm not. I ain't laugh. I'm not claiming that.
We all are. We're gonna have.
I just said he needs to sit down somewhere. Literally,
we're gonna have.
He's already literally sitting down. Location.
I know.
He can't literally sit down anymore than he already sit down.
I mean, apparently he can because his ass ain't sitting down. He all over the goddamn place.
Let's say he needs to pump the brakes.
Yeah, that works. Pump your brakes. Put the locks on the wheels, okay?
Sir, stay in Texas, please.
Because, I mean, everybody thinks that about him. They just think that every time something bad goes down with Texas, he's never here.
But that's because people keep voting for these Republicans. You know what I mean?
We'll talk about it tomorrow, child.
Why we still got this 4th of... Oh, it's still July. I was going to say, why we still got this 4th of July? But okay, never mind.
Because I've been too lazy to change the background.
It's okay. It's still July. So people be popping firecrackers all the time still. So
yeah. In August and September. And Labor Day.
So just while we're here, just make sure that y'all like and subscribe. I know we mentioned it in the beginning. Just want to remind y'all, just in case y'all didn't, midway, just make sure y'all like and subscribe to our podcast. Also follow us on Instagram and comment on our stuff. And yeah, just want to throw that out there. All right. So next question. So speaking of Beryl, how long were you both, and myself included, out of electricity?
I think it was literally like a week for me.
Damn. I'm sorry.
Mine was very brief. I didn't go very long, so
Mm-hmm.
I was one of the fortunate ones that didn't have to wait a week for it.
How long did you have to go?
Like a day or two.
That's
Okay.
not bad.
So
Which is still not fun, but I mean, compared to what everybody else was experiencing, I'm like, shoot, that's better than
yeah.
A
some
week.
people were out with 2 weeks for 2 weeks, and I was
I
like,
think some people still, if I'm not wrong, some people still don't have their lights on. I think some
Really?
people are still,
yeah, I think I saw a facility that has like special needs kids. They just got
Yeah.
the lights back on today.
Jeez.
Wow.
How long were you without your
Damn,
lights,
that's
Jay?
like okay. So y'all gonna hate me when I say this. But I was only without my lights for literally like 12, 13 hours. My lights
not
went
too bad.
out on Monday at like 7 a.m. And I only noticed about 8 because it got hot. And I'm like, oh, I woke up my sleep because I sleep when I'm cold and when I'm hot, I wake up because I'm like, I'm hot. So yeah, we went without lights starting at like 7. And then we got them back, thankfully, like literally at 8 o'clock on Monday. Now, here's a conspiracy about that bullshit because, granted, I'm grateful, which I might not move because of this reason, but I live by a toll road where they gotta get charged for shit. And literally down the street on my same block is a Easy Tag store. So we didn't think about this until I saw somebody on Facebook saying so. They was like, yeah, the government gonna get their money.
10, 20, 30.
How come all these toll roads still working and everybody that live by a toll road got lights? Now, I don't know about people who live just like right down the beltway with no toll road, but I literally live like a mile or so. Well, yeah, since I live by an Easy Tag store, the toll road that it actually flashes the camera with your to take a picture, it's probably like a mile down the road, maybe a little less. But I live by a toll road, and it's just interesting how I had lights the first day everything went out.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Oh.
I don't know if we had a priority list. I don't know how that list went when they came down here and was like, who gonna get lights first and whatever. Maybe less damaged area. I don't know. But I had lights that very first day, and I didn't think about it until somebody mentioned about how the toll road get their money. And I'm like, damn, I live by a toll road. I live by an Easy Tag store. So I was fortunate to not go without lights for a very, very long time. It was only like 12, 13 hours, which I'm really grateful for that. Which that tells me I might not need to move from this area because if that is the case, I know if this happens again, I may get lights faster than most people.
Were you there last time that we had that what was it, a tornado that came through Texas or Houston? Were you there like in that same area?
So you were talking about the one that happened in May?
Yeah, where downtown got all destroyed and shit.
I was here.
Did you lose your lights at all? Did you lose them?
They flickered a little bit, but they didn't completely turn off.
Yeah.
And like this time, they actually did turn off, and I was like trying to prepare myself. So I was just thinking, I don't know when they're gonna come back on. So I'm like mentally trying to prepare myself to have to sleep in the heat because I'm like, gotta get this little mini power thing I got going on. Gotta get that powered up with my fan, and then next thing you know, damn fan just starts spinning in the apartment. I'm like,
that's good though. But I was asking because last time when that happened, and I know when we had that other, like the freeze, my lights were on. So that's why we got kind of comfortable and we were like, yeah, we're not going to lose our lights. And God said,
don't get comfortable because you never know. Here's your test.
Yeah.
See, and it's crazy because this is not my first time living off the Beltway. I've been Beltway before in some apartments like a little bit further down. And it's crazy because when we had hurricane, remember I was telling you about hurricane? I was like, I don't know what hurricane this was, but I think it was Harvey. And I stayed in an apartment by myself, and I was not prepared at all. I bought all kind of food you got to cook in the damn stove, oven, all that. And then when Hurricane Harvey happened, I had my lights the whole time, like everything was good. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'll be good over here too. But ironically, when this hurricane happened, they didn't have lights for like a week.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
crazy.
it's just interesting how stuff just happens.
And then they said that their priority were the older folk, and that's a damn lie.
Don't make me a dog-faced lion pony soldier.
We live maybe about a mile away from like apartments for older people. Them old people had no lights. It got so bad where like the apartments ended up renting a bus and probably took them to Vegas or something. I think they took them all gambling.
People like to
Because
gamble.
I saw a big ass bus and all those older folks were going in there. Needless to say,
I saw a couple buses and I thought that was interesting. I'm like, why are these buses going on goddamn casinos in the middle of a hurricane? But now it makes sense.
Because these older people, you know, they got to stay somewhere cool, and what's better than to take them to casinos? So they're like kids. Keep them playing.
They love casinos. So all person love a damn casino. I don't. I like to lose money, but all people love it.
And then I submitted my little application for my backyard, and FEMA denied it, saying that I already have home insurance.
This is the trick. You can't tell them you got home insurance.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
I didn't even know. Yeah, they did. They found that on their own.
Because I learned that from my last application, from the one that happened in May, because I filed with FEMA then, and they denied me because I said I had renter's insurance. So this time when I helped my mama,
it doesn't cover.
They still deny my shit. So this time when I helped my mom, I said, we're not putting that you got insurance on there because they're going to deny your stuff. And her insurance is full of shit. So we didn't put it. And guess what? They came out. They approved her shit. Her house is going to get fixed. Finally.
We're
having
the appraiser come in tomorrow, I think. So he's going to come appraise it. But with FEMA, I think they said it has to be denied by the home insurance before I can even appeal their decision. But I'm still waiting on them to give my $750 for all my food that was lost. So
I got approved for it.
FEMA, read my email and send me my $750 because I lost the shit out of food.
Not you sending them a message.
I am. And I emailed
if you're watching, goddamn.
Nobody's got to be watching from FEMA. FEMA watching. The government is always watching. So FEMA, approve my little application.
The government watching. I just said my mama just denied her insurance. Don't be watching, goddamn.
Anyways, FEMA, send me my money.
They already got the memo. FEMA logged
They already on the way to my house.
Sir. I cannot help you, sir.
Talking about denied.
What's your mama address? She denied.
Oh man.
FEMA taking Lord. To review my ID.
I'm eligible for the $750. But when I'm gonna get my money? Because they sent me a notice on the 18th. No, they sent me a notice last week on the 18th said that I was approved for the $750, but I have not gotten a deposit yet. So I'm hoping by
a lot of people are getting checks.
Whoa. But even though I put my bank account information on there, and I think not because I had actually never mind. Put my mom address just in case because I knew I was moving. So since I was moving, I didn't want to put my old address just in case they tried that shit. So I put my mom on. So hopefully I do. If I get a check, cool. But I did put a direct deposit. So why do they give you an option? But they're gonna do the opposite.
You know what, FEMA? At this point, FEMA, as much fucking taxes as I pay, I need my damn check. I am reclaiming, saying that I need my damn check. I don't care if you send it by snail mail. I don't care if you direct deposit that bitch in my account. I just need my $750. That's all I know. Because they'd be quick to take my damn taxes.
I got bills to pay. I need the $750.
Girl.
So do y'all want to do this this scenario?
What scenario? You sent the scenario?
Did you text it or email?
She did.
I did. The one with the girl who was during Beryl who said who wanted to stay at her boyfriend's house, but the boyfriend had the baby mama and his kid.
Oh, I remember that one. Yes, you want to read it out?
Sure. So, during Beryl, there was someone in distress. Well, everybody was in distress, but there was
I'm
one
still
particular
just I'm still stressed.
There's one particular person that I saw on social media that had reached out and had presented this question. She said, as I am writing this, I still don't have power. I live out in the country and my boyfriend
that scenario
has had power the entire time. We got into a really bad argument because he did not allow me and my kids to come over to his house, since the mother of his children and their kids are staying there during the power outages. Power went out as well. We've been together for 5 years and I know his kids and his kids know mine. So I don't see why there was an issue. He did drop off hot food to me and my kids, but we haven't taken the shower or anything during this time. He doesn't want me over there because his baby mama doesn't like me. We have recently been talking about marriage, but this situation has me thinking.
Not no more.
How do you put your baby mama over me? Who says?
I feel like if I'm the woman you want to marry, you should have brought me over. If she want to come over, hey, I understand you're a very generous man. That's your kids as well. There's your baby mama, but this is your house. And I feel like either we're going to get along together or whoever wants to start some beef can get the fuck out. But at the end of the day, you shouldn't tell me I got to stay in my house because you putting her over me because she don't like me. Okay, you got to tell that bitch that I'm your future wife. Get with it to get gone. And if that's not enough, and if that's not going to work for you, then I can't be your future wife. Granted, yes, you brought me hot food. Thank you. But what's not this?
F your hot food. F you and your.
Yeah. You. Hello? Hello. Yeah, you could stay at home with your baby mama because it's not gonna. No,
This is why you don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
But thank you for bringing me the hot food.
Because I'm gonna eat it.
You could be over there with your baby mama. You told me I couldn't come over, but
apparently you care about her
right
emotional state of liking me more than you care about me and my emotional state of wanting to be comfortable and be clean. And
because I don't think it's even about
comfortable.
her liking him. I think it's him still having feelings for her.
I think
And
they
putting her emotions above his future wife.
They are still having sex.
And that could be it too. That definitely could be it.
They are still
It is it.
Because why the fuck you care?
First of all, she didn't even have to come to your house. Your kid, those are your kids, are your responsibility, not her.
Right.
She didn't went to anybody's house.
But where her boyfriend at?
Where her mama at? Where her daddy at?
I know for the last 5
Her
years.
daddy.
Where her grandma at? She got somebody who got some fucking life.
Somebody
That's
that she could have stayed with. And I'm like, and the girl ain't even saying the baby mama can't come over there. She's just saying, why I can't come over there. Like, I don't mind your baby over there. But the baby mama clearly got a problem. And
that's crazy.
Sis, he showed you exactly where his heart is. And
because let me tell you, I have a situation that's similar to that. My baby daddy's lights were off, right? Currently, one of my lights was off. We was talking, like, Grant, I don't like to talk to him about anything, any fucking way. But we were just talking about how our lights was off, blah, blah, blah. And I guess at some point, I don't know when the fuck it was. Maybe it was a Friday. Maybe it was a Thursday. I don't know. But he told me his lights were still off. I didn't respond.
Damn.
So in relation to this scenario, shit, I got shit to do right now. I'm not really worried about your lights being off. So like, I didn't respond. So like 4 or 5 hours later, I get a text like about, damn, you could have responded. You just didn't like, whatever. I don't know what the fucking message. I forgot by now. But long story short, you think I'm about to offer this nigga a place in my house? No, I have a whole man here. I'm not about to even invite you over here. First of all, no, I don't care who you are. You a grown ass man. And you kept telling me, I hopped off the porch at 14. Okay, well, hop off of this porch too and go find somewhere to stay. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
Wait, he hopped off the porch when he was 14?
Yeah, it's a long story. Don't even worry about it. But
I was like, what they got to do with the lights?
It's basically just saying like he is tough enough to take care of himself. That's basically what he was saying when he said that. So I feel like, why do you expect me to care because you don't have lights? Like, I'm not gonna tell you come over here. Me responding is not gonna be an invite to my house. Be responsible. Not gonna do shit. Like, I mean, I'm sorry you ain't got a life. What you want me to do? I can't do shit for you.
You really that cold?
So in that situation, granted, I get it. That's your baby mama. She a girl. We got this whole I'm a girl thing, but she got somebody she can depend on. You ain't got to depend on your baby daddy. My child got lights. Not lights over here. We're good.
It's been 5 years. Like him and his girlfriend have been for 5 years, so there's history there. It's not like he just met her 6 months ago. I would even say a year. But you've been together. You've been with this woman for 5 years. So your baby mama knows very well. If your kids know her, that means you have been bringing her around. Go ahead.
Because I'm petty like that. If I weren't. What if this is just the baby mama being petty and trying to establish herself over this new woman, saying like, you're gonna let her come in over me. She might not even have no feelings for that man, but she's like, I'm gonna be there because I want to be in the AC, and I'm gonna show her who's queen around this bitch.
And girls,
because I'm hearing you not. Or what if she the type to hold child support over his head? Like maybe he not on child support, but maybe the fact that if he don't allow her to come over, she might feel away and be petty. You know how people are.
If I put myself in those shoes, let's just say, for instance, I am the baby.
I'm gonna be in the AC. I don't care.
No, I'm gonna be somewhere. I'm gonna be with him. I'm gonna be anywhere fucking else. I will go stay at a hotel and pay my coins before I go stay with that nigga.
With him. Yeah.
Let's just say
I will go anywhere, but not with my baby daddy.
Push comes to shove, and everybody is in distress, and he the only one on this earth with lights and electricity and AC. I am going to play fair with whoever girlfriend. I'm like, sis, I'm just happy you let me come over here and sit in the AC.
That part. Let's be cordial. Let's be cordial.
Number one, but I feel that way because I don't want you no more.
Right.
At all.
I don't have I'm happy you are with her. She is nice enough to let me come over. We look like
that part. That means you are respecting her role in his life, though. That means you have a respect for her and knowing that she is the one that he's dealing with and not you. But the fact that they've been
together for 5 years and they still not living together at this point, it's like, I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know why are y'all not living together? Like what's the circumstance behind you guys not living together? I need more to this story.
There are some people, especially when they have kids, they don't want to quickly, move in with somebody. Because I know I was like that. Like I don't care to move in with you or anything of that nature. So that could have been a situation he might have just. But then again, he probably still they
yeah. Because for you to just deny her over there.
Did she say they're not engaged?
Oh, she said they have been talking about marriage.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I mean, this is your red flag, sis. Run away.
And dudes would talk about marriage and not really want to talk. They don't mean it. They'll just be like, "Oh yeah."
And how long she said they've been together?
5 years.
5 years.
5 years.
They've been together 5 years and was talking about marriage at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But she can't come to the house. She got to be over there spanking.
I need to know about this relationship. I didn't know. I need more details.
I mean,
we need you on the show.
Yeah, whoever this is, there's no name attached to this. But whoever you
just happen to find us,
just let us story.
Because we feel like there's some missing pieces here. Because how the fuck
we've got questions.
I've always thought like, I got a 2-year limit with somebody, but then if you think about it, 2 years, you really don't know that person as well. Shit start happening really a year 2, and then all of a sudden you got to cipher through that shit and decide if y'all want to continue the relationship or not. And then, maybe by year 3, year 4, but I can't put time on shit because just me being in my relationship currently, I just know like timing does not always work out with how you expect it to be. Sometimes maybe y'all don't have the money for a ring. Maybe you don't have the money for the wedding. Maybe like, I don't know. And some people get married in 6 months. Like it's just, I can't put a time limit on shit. But after 5 years, it shouldn't be no more talking about marriage. It should be, where is my ring at this point?
No, even at that, I think like money shouldn't be an issue for two people.
Because you can go to the court for $20 and get married.
Right. And then you can be like, and you can be like, we'll do our wedding,
at some point.
A, B, C, D, E. Yeah. I think there's other reasons, like Steph said, behind why they're not maybe living together yet. I think they said they both have kids. So Yeah, like Steph said, that might be the reason. You're a single mom. You don't want your kids to be around just any person.
But 5 years, though?
Yeah. I mean,
at this point, you either know you want your kids around him or you don't.
Well, they're dating. That's what it is.
5 years?
So there's a difference between bringing your kids around someone and living with someone in your.
Yeah,
Oh, I
definitely.
already know. You ain't preaching to me. I'm the whole. I already know.
I think this is the thing, though. I think everybody, when they're dating, they talk about marriage. So I think at this point, she might have been more invested in that relationship than him. To me, it just sounds like they were dating. They had a regular dating life, and she was really
they got an entanglement.
No, they were in a relationship. She had already planned on getting married in the future, and maybe this guy thought, like, look, she really is just my girlfriend. I really don't have anything to, like, I have nothing to be giving this woman. She's my girlfriend. I don't have a responsibility towards her, which is true, because at that point they're just dating. He really didn't have any responsibility
to the baby mama either. He only have a responsibility
that's different. Yeah, but that's different, because at some point that was maybe his wife, or that was somebody he lived with. That's somebody he held a relationship. So maybe he's like, this woman is somebody I've actually been with. Maybe that's why maybe men are dumb. Maybe he just didn't think anything about it. And he was like, yeah, I'll come through, bring the kids. And then all of a sudden this other woman is mad. Like, did she tell him, though? There's so much going on.
I would have just said, y'all both can come over, and whoever the fuck the maddest can leave. Like, at this point, we got a house. Yeah. You got AC. If you fucking hate that bitch and you don't want to be here, then you can go. Like, but you here. You got air. What the fuck are you mad for? So at this point, you got to just figure that shit out.
Because the baby mama is new.
As the baby mama, if I no longer have feelings for him, I would have just dropped my kids off over there. I could suffer. I ain't tripping. It's my kids who I don't want to suffer.
Look, I will find somewhere to go. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I will find somewhere, something. It's hotel somewhere that got something.
It's the kids that I would be like, hey, just take your kids, because it's one less thing that I have to worry about. I could survive. But
I'm not even gonna lie. I'm so goddamn independent. Like, I wouldn't have even thought about going to my baby daddy's house.
I wouldn't either.
That would have been the last fucking thing. I would have seeked out every other option.
I would have sat in my car. Option. I would have slept in my car in the AC.
AC wasn't an option.
Listen, like, I would have traveled. I would have went out of the state or somewhere.
Road trip.
Road trip. But then again, we don't know what type of baby mama he got. She probably one of them ones that just, don't have them, depend on him.
Yeah.
So
I definitely want to know more about this story. I'm invested.
And then again, we also don't know what the relationship is between the baby mama and the girlfriend. The girl, some girlfriends do tend to be a little catty and be like, "Oh, well, you don't. Why she coming up? The kids don't need to. Got them too." So, like Rose said, it's more. It has to be more to the story.
Yeah.
But sis, he definitely showed you who was important in his life, and it wasn't you.
Definitely.
I mean, he tried to extend a little helping hand, but I mean, I need a bath. I don't like to stink, And I can find food. It's crazy because food trucks had generators.
Yeah, it was places that were open.
You can have to book me no damn food. You could have provided me a place. You could have provided me a place to sleep. You didn't have to bring me food. The food truck down the street was open, so I could have found food. I needed a place to sleep and to be comfortable, and you didn't give me that.
I don't know. Next question.
I'm gonna just say that if I were in her situation, I probably would have left him. That would have been my sign.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I know where your priorities are at this point. And if I didn't leave him, you best believe my options would have been plenty after that.
Mm-hmm.
You would not have been my only option.
So I would also like to say, speaking of how long people had electricity, my Airbnb also lost electricity. And I had a guest that checked in that Friday. He had electricity Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and came Monday morning. He didn't have electricity. He texted me. He was like, hey, by the way, the power is out. I'm pretty sure it is. I already figured that, but I was waiting on you to tell me that you didn't have power over there. I applaud this man because of all the guests I had, he took it the best a guest can possibly take it. Because, in most situations, they'd be like, I want my money back. You have no power. But in a sense, it was the whole Houston,
That would have been me.
Texas, that has not had power.
I would
So
be like,
even if you would have got your money back from me and left, fuck you, Steph.
Mhm.
If you got your money back from me and left, you couldn't have found no place with power. Granted, I don't know how hotels operate. They have backup generators of power. They can hold a little
Some
335.
hotels were running at $800 to $900.
That's
Because I had a friend. I
price
had a friend that
gouging, or what is?
Yeah, I
what-
had a friend that was actually posting online. She's like, "Look at these hotels price
It's
gouging."
called
She's like,
supply and
$800.
demand. It's
No,
called,
it's
I
called
learned
price
it's
gouging.
called supply and demand because supply
That's
is
illegal
so
because it's a national
small. The demand is so
disaster.
high. I get it.
It's a
Hey,
it's a
if
national
I could have,
disaster. It's illegal.
I ain't gonna lie.
It's law.
Well,
It's
they
the
not
law.
getting no tickets. Hell,
Yes,
and to be honest,
They are supposed to. If
They
people would have
are.
reported them, they would have definitely
Yeah.
been in jail. Girl, trust me. During Harvey, it was a lot of them in there, and the judges were not nice to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nope.
But
you bonding out since you out here
I
raising
was
prices.
Taking people money. Mm-hmm.
I would just like to applaud that man because I brought them candles, I brought them water. That was all I can do.
I love it. Fantastic.
It was really out of my head at that point. I'm like, I said, even I don't have lights. Like I don't know what to do. I just brought him candles and I brought him water. And he actually used the candles, but I think I was happy because he actually had things to do during the day. So a lot of the times when I was like, hey, is that power on? He was like, well, I don't know. It was on that morning, but we're not there right now. So I feel like he only really just slept there at night and he used the candles that I did bring them. So I'm happy to know that did not go in vain. And he didn't even ask for a refund. He didn't ask for no money back. He just was very understanding about the situation. So thank you, sir, for not making my life as a business owner hard. Because Steph would have made my shit a living fucking hell.
I would have at least wanted half of my deposit
contacted
back.
Uber. I mean, not Uber. I would have contacted what is it?
Airbnb?
Airbnb, and I would have definitely wanted a credit. I ain't gonna lie.
Me too. Some partial.
He was nice,
but it's not my fault.
And
I hope that there was a hurricane. I could understand if it was like my unit.
We need to move on to the next question.
All right, go
We
ahead.
will, Rose. So I could understand if it was a power outage at my apartment complex. Like if something happened, a wire trip, and it's our fault. I can understand that. You came to Houston with the whole hurricane on the horizon and gonna sit there asking for your money back? How was that my fault?
I'm not asking you for my money back.
When you couldn't go nowhere. If you would have went somewhere, you would have paid more.
I'm asking
it
for
wasn't
a credit.
It wasn't supposed to hit Houston.
But it did. How was that my fault?
It wasn't forecasted. So how is it my fault that the people in the weather fucked up?
Take that
It was forecasted to hit Houston. I heard it.
FEMA has business for business loss
loans.
I don't know goddamn loan. I don't owe nobody no goddamn money.
Give me my credit.
Money right now. I don't owe them nothing else. No.
Take the rest up with FEMA.
I am blessed that he did not ask me for no money back.
I don't care if you gotta write it off on your taxes. I don't care.
And I am.
I expected a service and I didn't get it. I don't care if it was due to a hurricane, due to whatever.
You slept.
At the end of the day, yeah, that's true though. If we're talking about business, then business oriented, at the end of the day, I didn't get provided the business that I paid for. Point blank, period.
You paid for a generator.
You paid for an accommodation. You had a place to lay your
had a
head.
generator
with lights. Not a generator.
Still stayed there and laid his head.
She said you should have had a generator.
Because a nigga ain't gonna complain about much.
Sam said I got a different generator.
That's a difference between men and women because a man, he ain't gonna complain as much. And I noticed that he didn't complain about shit. But a woman would have been all up her ass about all whatever.
I sure would have.
See, you would have. Damn, I'm not gonna lie. I would have been like,
been on my ass. I would have just been very nicely said, "Am I gonna get 50%
first of all back?" I'm already pissed because I'm high.
Inconvenience.
I'm high. And
well, take your ass somewhere who ain't got no air either. So have a good luck with that and pay $800 for a room.
And I would have left the review.
To another Airbnb that had lights.
Nobody had the fucking lights. Like,
they did have. We just said some people had lights for one day. Some people in Conroe were saying they didn't lose their lights at all.
Because it didn't hit Conroe. It hit Houston.
Right, so they could have gone up to Conroe. Give them my $100 back because I'm fixing to go book a room up there in Conroe.
Okay, you know what? I'm glad I dealt with him.
Question.
And I didn't deal with two bitches.
Next question.
All right.
Let me put my little glasses back on since we get intellectual here.
Not the glasses.
You
but she can see the bullshit. Okay. For real. All right.
You done? Are you finished?
You finished.
Both. All of the above.
All right. So how did you cope with the hurricane? How did you prepare? What did you do?
Prepare? People must not know we're from Texas. We're from Houston. We don't prepare.
Nope. We get excited. We start doing barbecues and shit. And then when shit hit the fan, we be looking surprised.
Listen, but they can't blame us because this is what happens. Sometimes when the news are like, oh, we're going to get a big storm, buy all your water. Right. Everybody runs to Sam's. Everybody runs to H-E-B, Fiesta.
Buy all its fucking toilet tissue.
Right. Right. And then what happens? Nothing. So it's not the first time that it's happened where they tell us to go run out and buy the grocery stores and then nothing happens. So this time around, it's like, because honestly, they were saying it wasn't supposed to be as bad as it was. They were like, oh, it's just forecasted rains and thunderstorms, blah, blah, blah. And they never said that hurricane was supposed to hit as hard as it did.
So it was serious when Apple was blowing my phone up about take cover, it's a hurricane. Apple was legit.
I don't think it was. I honestly don't think it was a Category 1. I definitely think it was
either
hurricane. They painted it out to be a Category 1, but the damage that it did was definitely Category 2-ish.
Yes.
So, but I did prepare. I wasn't like all over the place like some of these people that were going to the grocery store and had excessive stuff because again, it's a hurricane. Your lights are going to go out. So the chances of your lights going out are high. Why would you buy a bunch of stuff that you got to put in the refrigerator? You know? So I did buy like a lot of noodles and stuff. And, you know, I got a gas stove. So I knew
a gas stove? That's good.
I had electricity so I knew that, house.
Yeah, we could cook on the stove. I actually bought charcoal just in case. You know, because sometimes you be having like gas lines that be going out and they got to shut the gas. So I bought charcoal. And I was like, worst case scenario, I bought meat. I did buy meat because I was like, if the lights go out, the first thing we're going to cook is the meat. And we could put that in the fridge and we could eat that for a couple of days. Yeah. So I did prepare strategically. We put water in the freezer just so it could freeze. And if, you know, we had to, worst case scenario, by day 3, we'd have cold water still. But
cold water was not gonna last in my freezer because I definitely tried to freeze my water, and by day 1 it was thawing.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty hot.
It was
Wow.
But I think what I did was I really prepared. Like I had my little power station, so I usually keep that powered up because I had it powered up for May. When May happened, I didn't need to use it. So cool. And this time, just make sure it's ready to go. And like when the lights went out that day, I had to put my fan on because I got hot. But my power station, this is what situations like this teach me. You need more wattage. Okay. So my power station was okay. It was like 300 watts or something, but that's not enough. I learned that is not enough. You need more than 300 watts to power some shit in your house or apartment or whatever. So I learned to get a bigger power station I'm in an apartment, so you can't really do generators as much. But just whatever I can do that is small enough to go on my patio in the event that this happens again. But I did prepare a little bit. I did end up buying, speaking to y'all, I had bought the charcoal, I bought the lighter fluid because I ended up barbecuing the next day because I didn't have any cookable food. So I was outside thugging, barbecuing, making burgers and wings, and girl, it was a good time for me.
Yeah.
I like being on the barbecue pit as a girl. I feel like I just barbecuing, you know. So we did have some food to eat, so that was cool. And then even with the barbecue pits, you can make your little beans, your little green beans in the pot and
That's
stuff.
true.
So it was a whole little meal we had. So it was cool. But outside of that, I mean, if I probably would have went longer than 13 hours without power, I really don't know what I would have.
I mean, we
That was just
prepared with
day
enough
one.
water, Gatorades, vitamin water.
See,
So I
all
do.
I had was water. That was it. I didn't
I
have.
definitely want to commend Sugar Land and City of Missouri City because they were out here giving people ice every single day. And they were giving 3, 4 bags of ice. I went one day because my wife's like, go get some ice. We need some ice. And I went and they gave me like 7 bags of ice. And it was the big bag. So I had enough to give my neighbors in my street. And I ended and I live around a lot of elderly people. So I went out there. I was like, hey neighbor, you need some ice? I gave like 4 different neighbors some ice. And I was
Man,
like,
that ice was sold out at the
yes.
store. So that's what's
Yes.
up. My
Yeah,
mama
so
needed ice. We couldn't find ice nowhere.
I definitely got to commend Missouri City because they're still out here sometimes giving out food.
Same
Like
at
they had
Humble.
restaurants get together. They had restaurants get together and kind of give out food. So I think they did really good. I mean, yes, having no AC was a struggle for me, but that's just me being privileged. It really is. It really just because let me tell you something, because we were without the AC for 7 days, 5, 6, 7 days. We still my mother-in-law let us borrow a window unit and a generator, so we were good like after day 2 or 3. But once that AC kicked in, baby, now we keep it at 75 because we cold. We got used to being in the heat.
Yeah, my best friend, they was out of electricity for like 7 days or so, and I felt
We
bad because they
adapted.
had like a 1-year-old, and you feel bad for like the elderly people. You feel bad for people who have babies
Definitely.
because babies don't understand the goddamn air is out and it was a
Yeah.
hurricane. They just know they get hot and they frustrated and why the fuck the air ain't on.
Yeah.
But they end
Either
up getting
way, Centerpoint, I
AC.
expect a credit for 7 days of light.
I think everybody should get that.
You know what? I just canceled my last electricity company. I wish they were Reliant, and they sent me this damn old ass bill, one of my past bill from Green Mountain Industry. I should call them and say I think I should get a credit because I was out of light for 5 days, even though I wasn't. I'm gonna tell them it was about 5 days and see what they do.
You can't be out here, you girl.
I mean, all of Houston is going into like they're going into these electric monitors where they can just type up and see if you have lights or not.
You know what? I can't lie about it. You're right. They probably can look up to see when I got lights. Never mind. But yeah,
we just need some money, City of Houston.
checks our pain and suffering.
Texas, Hot Wheels, somebody give us some money.
That's why I see, and speaking of money, that's why people want to vote. This is another subject. I'm gonna go on it and get off of it. But that's why people want to vote for Trump because he gave stimulus checks when we was in distress for COVID. And I'm like, that's not just the only reason to vote for somebody into president because he gave y'all a check 2-3 times.
And that's why we're in recession because of all those COVID checks. Well, people don't realize that we're in a recession because of all those COVID checks.
That Trump wasn't the one who approved those COVID checks. Those checks
the
were
Senate.
Yeah, like that wasn't a Trump thing, from what I've heard. I haven't done my full research, but from what I've read is that wasn't really a Trump thing. It's kind of like, for example, when one president leaves, they already have stuff in order.
Yeah.
Then when another one takes office, it picks up or whatever. It's kind of like one of them situations like, COVID was already prevalent like in 2019. It hit us in 2020.
Yeah.
Right. Honestly, I think the smart thing that he could have done was shut the border down so that people in China wasn't coming over and spreading the virus. And that would have prevented a lot of this to where he wouldn't have to have cut a stimulus check. And look at us now. We're paying for those stimulus checks now with gas prices,
food prices,
inflation. We're paying for all of that at this point. Yeah, it was nice when we got it at that time, but was it really worth it? Because listen, everything is high. You go to the grocery store, $50 gets you like 7 items.
No,
sad.
dead ass. It's sad. Yeah.
And it'd probably be like bread, toothpaste, and some
A pack of
water.
bacon, goddamn. Like shit, making like $12 at the damn store. That's crazy.
Not even enough to make you a full meal for the day. You know, it's just like the
At
base.
this point, I gotta go raise a goddamn farm. Shit. Just to get
Look,
everything
I
I
already
need.
started planting my little organic plants. I'm like, damn, when the damn the onions gonna come? Like, it's ridiculous.
Well, you gotta water them for them to be growing.
I mean, it's been raining. It's been raining. I done put them out there. I'm like, hello, where you at? You're not sprouting. Can you sprout? I need onions
a
next
toxic
week.
rain.
I ain't gonna lie, my ivy plants are doing really fucking well. And I'm disappointed because I want them in the house, but them hoes thrive better outside. And I'm just like, y'all really out here spreading your little leaves and y'all growing up the pot and just yes, I had them hoes in the house and they just wouldn't do
outside
shit.
plants.
Apparently they are. Maybe mines are just different because they prefer to be outside.
I know they have to be in light.
Mines prefer humidity and heat.
They Houston plants.
Because when I had them in the house, all they did was die, like just little leaves falling off here and there. And when I put them outside, blossom. Been growing ever since.
You must have it really cold in your house.
I do. Night. But not during the day. So I like to be cold in the day, but at night I like to be cold. I like to sleep cold because I like to be sweating. But in the daytime, it'd be like normal, like 70, 75, 44-ish. But they prefer to be outside, and I'm sad about that because I want them inside, but they want to be outside. So I want them to grow, so I'll let you be outside, like whatever.
My bamboo plant is dying.
It's gone?
It's dying.
Not it's dying. Y'all gave me hell about my bamboo plant.
I did.
I don't know why though. It's one of the sticks is kind of yellowish. I don't know if it got a little virus or something, so I got to take it outside so it can die
in peace.
At peace,
alone.
But maybe that's what it needs. Maybe it needs some sun because I moved it towards like my coffee maker, and there's not a lot of lights there. So I think it might
maybe
need
the heat from the coffee maker too.
Yeah.
See, but I kept my ivy plants by the window, so that's why I'm just confused as to why they was down on the inside versus outside because they were by the window.
Were you giving it like potting soil? Like, were you changing the potting soil and stuff?
Not as often, but even with them being outside, I don't change it as often.
But they get the nutrients
from the sun.
Outside.
I guess. I don't know. Next question.
Yep. While we were here trying to decipher how plants live.
All right. So
we barely know how we live in.
Because baby, all the pollution should be killing us. We are dying slowly. But anyways, next question. Who was at fault for the outage? Not outage. Who was at fault for the electricity outage? Was it Centerpoint or was it the state? Who was the state? Is it Texas?
It was both. The state is Texas. It's the governor.
It's Hot Wheels.
The one that was absent
during the whole situation.
Yes, because it was definitely a state. It was a state of emergency. It wasn't a city. It wasn't a county thing. It was a state thing.
But you don't really hear about the state was not in the social media. It was Centerpoint that was in the social media about why the workers wasn't working, about why there was not a plan, about why you brought people from Louisiana and all over and have them sitting in the parking lot waiting for instructions and payment and how they, just things like that. I just feel like this is not the first hurricane. This has happened plenty of time. I feel like the worst case scenario for Centerpoint would be if everybody lost electricity at the same time. That's what we should plan for. And when that happened, nobody had a fucking plan. They didn't know how they was gonna pay nobody. They didn't know what was what. They didn't know who was gonna go first, who was gonna go last. They had no plan. And how do you not have a plan? This is not the first hurricane. And the worst case scenario just about possibly happened. Granted, the worst case scenario will be a category 5 blue like Katrina in this bitch. But this was as close to it as possible. So how do y'all not have a plan for what's the worst case scenario?
I don't know. Everybody's at fault.
Yeah.
I agree. Everybody is at fault except for the citizens who
except for
suffer.
the workers too, because the workers you get
Because we
instruction.
paid our bill.
Imagine somebody coming to our job, right, and being like, "Why y'all not this, and that?" But we get instructions from somebody above us. We can only do what the person above us tells us to do. So I think the people who are less at fault is the workers, because you can only do what your employer allows you to do without you losing your job. It was people who were getting in trouble because they were trying to restore lights and they didn't have instruction to do so. And they were getting in trouble because they were trying to help. So it's not the workers' fault, and people were mad at the workers like it's the lineman's fault when it wasn't really their fault. If they could have helped you for free, they probably would have.
Listen, it's not the workers' fault, but it is Centerpoint's fault.
Of course, I think it's definitely Centerpoint's fault.
So let's not blame Centerpoint just yet, because I'm
in the state of Texas, they're both at odds.
This is what I'm reading. It says, and I quote, this article is from July 13th, 2024. It says Centerpoint Energy asks the federal government for $100 million in 2023 to help strengthen its resiliency in the wake of extreme weather events, but its proposal was rejected. According to a new report from E&E News, the money would have come out of the New Grid Resilience and Innovation Partnership Program, a $10.5 billion fund created by the Biden administration specifically to improve the resilience of the power system against growing threats of extreme weather and climate change. That is according to the DOE website. The rejection of Centerpoint's proposal, which the utility provider disclosed in an extensive resiliency plan submitted to the Public Utility Commission of Texas earlier this year, is unlikely to be welcome news to Houstonians who are facing their second mass power loss event of 2024. The first was the surprise derecho in May, which hit the derecho is the tornado. The derecho tornado that they named derecho. Like, what the fuck is a derecho?
That's the name of it?
No, it's not even a tornado. That's another type of storm, a derecho. They said it wasn't a tornado, derecho. It said which hit Houston with high winds and took out power to almost 1 million people. The second, of course, was Hurricane Beryl, which was much less of a surprise, but whose impact, much less of a surprise, because we knew it was coming.
Yep.
But whose impact on the grid seemed to come as a shock to many. Honestly, I did not expect Beryl to be as bad as it was, because I honestly feel like it was worse than Harvey. Harvey brought a lot of flooding. Beryl brought a lot of wind.
Yeah. Knocked over a bunch of fucking trees and power lines and shit.
I can see how maybe Centerpoint was a little bit more lax, because they're like, oh, worst case scenario, we're gonna get a lot of flooding.
But they should have planned. They're not paid to be lax. They're paid to think about it. These people have millions and billions of money for them to be planning this ahead of time. What are they doing when they're not planning about these grids or complaining about us not having enough grids?
But again, if we want to, you have to fund what we're funding. What are we funding? What are we funding?
I thought you said the money was there, but somebody said no. Who said no to that funding?
So the money was there, but let me see. Let me go back and see who said no.
It said Biden proposed it or Biden had it. Centerpoint requested for it, and Texas said no. Hot Wheels said no.
Texas said no. So we said Hot Wheels had to have said no.
That was Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Hot Wheels was the first one to leave, because he already knew he wasn't going to have electricity.
Girl, he said, okay, Texas, deal with it. He said, I'm fixing to go to Asia, have a good time.
Is that where he went?
Yeah, he went somewhere to Asia.
So yeah.
He said, I'm gonna deal with it when I get back. He said, that's a Monday. He said, that's a Monday problem.
So, if you don't fund these people, how do you expect them to be prepared for this type of stuff?
So the thing is that, his check has to remain the same. So for his check to remain the same and him to accept these funds, I'm sure the Biden administration or the government, the federal government, has certain regulations or, prerequisites that he had the state of Texas had to meet. And we're probably not even complying with that. So we can't get that money because we're shit here in Texas.
So it says Florida Power and Light, for example, which serves about 5
Mhm.
million customers, has spent billions over the last 2 decades investing in grid resiliency,
Mm.
utility poles made of concrete
Oh wow.
or steel instead of wood, and burying power lines. It says the
So
Juneau-based
somebody,
company was able to restore power to 4.4 million people in 10 days after Hurricane Irma. That's
so
4.
somebody told me that Conroe has the power lines buried, and that's why they weren't affected.
You see our goddamn power lines, they on stick still.
How do they go? How do they go
Barely
from
for
having them
power?
on sticks and being so like dangerous to digging in them? Like what? How does that change? Is it the whole wiring and structure that has to change for them to be able to bury them? Like I wonder how that works.
I mean, it's
Well,
going to take a
maybe
lot
they
of money
can.
because they have to hire people to dig this. That's why they said Florida spent $10 billion over the
Yeah.
last 2 decades because you have to hire these people. You have to buy the material. Like it's definitely a
Yeah.
huge investment, but it's
Wait,
worth it.
so Florida don't
Or
have power lines?
they do,
No,
but they're buried.
so Florida invested just like we were trying, they were trying to get them to approve this money for them to, prepare us for this type of stuff. Florida actually has invested 10 billion. Was it 10 million or 10 billion? I'm not sure.
Something like that, 10 billion.
So they invested money for their, power grid within the last 2 decades. So
Yeah.
their poles aren't made out of wood. Their poles are made out of metal, out of concrete, to where if a
Mm.
hurricane comes, it's hard for them to fall.
Ah,
And,
makes sense.
and their stuff is buried. Their power lines are buried. Ours are dangling like Christmas lights.
Mm-hmm. They really
Of
are.
course, if a storm comes, they gonna dangle and whirl, and here they go, and there goes our power. And there goes the grid. It's gone.
Damn.
Beryl.
Texas sucks.
Let's talk about, granted, I love trees
Because now
because
I'm mad.
trees are
That's why
She
needed for
said trees.
oxygen. Because they're needed to provide oxygen, right? But these trees took out so many houses. I feel like a lot of people will still have their homes intact if it wasn't for a damn tree falling in their house. I rode through this neighborhood. It was a man who had 2 trees that fell on his house
Mm-hmm.
from his neighbor's yard. And I'm
Girl.
just like, granted, we all love trees. Oh, they provide shade, it's oxygen. Bro, put me in the motherfucking field in the country where my neighbor is 2 miles down the road and I ain't got not damn tree. Give me some grass for some oxygen. Don't give me no damn
Yeah.
tree. I realize I don't want no trees because if my house survives and the tree take me out, I'm gonna be fucking mad. People have died because trees have fell in their houses.
So this is a thing.
You sleep being comfortable and the tree take you out.
Yeah.
It's okay for you to have trees. It's just where they're positioned. When you plant
Or
a
in
tree,
the
you
back.
have to position.
Or in the
No,
back.
seriously.
In the
You could put
backyard.
them- You could put them far in the back, and you also have the ability to not let them grow as tall
That's
to
true.
where they're over your house. Now, I will say this. If I had a home with trees, if I saw a tree, because there's a tree at my grandmother's house that is really it's a pine tree. They grow really, really tall. And I
Yeah.
have said we need to cut that pine tree down because
Yeah.
if a hurricane comes, that pine tree is gonna fall and it's so tall that it will take the whole house down.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that is also a responsibility of the owner. The tree was there either when you bought the house or you planted the tree. It's your responsibility to keep the maintenance on it. So if you got to cut it down to where if a hurricane comes and it don't tear your house up, cut it down. Pay
Yeah.
it down. So I'm
We
not
had we had a whole palm tree fall on one of our side of the fences. But it's not
See?
even from our neighbor next door or the one right in front of us. It's from our neighbor that's like diagonally from us. So a whole damn
Oh.
palm tree uprooted from this neighbor and flipped over to my neighbor's side. And it was so big that it tore her fence down and then it landed on my fence. So it kind of tore 3 different fences
See?
down because it's such
I
a
don't,
palm
want,
tree.
I don't even want neighbors with fence. I mean neighbors with trees.
Listen,
Just no
and my
neighbors, no
but my
trees.
wife kept telling them to cut that shit down and they don't listen.
but
So what I
you
told
could
my
have probably reported them.
You think so?
You could have probably reported them. Mm-hmm.
But I
Especially
told my
Go,
wife we're gonna
go
cut
lay
all
under
those
the tree and say it
limbs.
hurts. You take a picture of it real quick.
I told my wife we're gonna cut any limb for any tree that is coming into our yard. We have one tree in the backyard, we cut it off.
But that's
But I
not
said
enough
any of these
though.
limbs,
That's
we're
not
gonna
enough
cut them.
because even if they have a whole body of a tree in their yard, if you cut a limb, the whole tree is still in their yard. It's still
Right,
embedded
but
in their yard.
I can't cut the tree for I can't do that. That's on them if they want to do it. But I can cut the damn limbs that are coming into my
yeah,
my
you have
side.
whatever's coming to your side, you have control.
They're gonna have an ugly ass partial tree because
You can also spray the tree so it could die.
I'm not an assassin.
Exactly. I got quiet on that part, like,
I'm not a tree assassin.
The tree assassin.
I mean,
Come on,
you'll
that's
still
not-
live. Even if you kill the tree, you'll still survive. So I'm all for getting rid of
I
the
don't know.
damn
That's
tree.
bad karma.
You think so?
I don't think so.
Tree can't do anything to defend itself against me. It can't.
And you also can't do nothing to defend yourself against it during a hurricane.
If that hoe fall on your fucking house, it's not gonna have the same goddamn empathy that you got for it. It's gonna take your ass out.
I'm hoping karma returns the favor by not coming into my house. It'll be like she let it live.
It was nice enough to leave
That
the
is
tree.
not what's gonna happen.
Gonna hope
I
that
mean,
that
if you kill it, you got a better chance of it not coming to your house versus if you save it and it can still fucking fall over on your side.
But that's
And
crazy.
then now y'all have a war paying for damages and who gonna pay for what because the tree was partially. It's just a bunch of bullshit. I don't want a tree. Period. I don't want neighbors with trees.
You know what I said I was gonna get when
Trees
we
aren't good.
purchase our next home is a basement.
Mhm.
That's the best thing to have is a basement.
Can we do that in
A
Texas? Because I
bunker.
know
Yeah.
we're not like
You can have a basement. Shit.
somewhere like in sea level or something, and that's why I think a lot of places don't have it.
No, you can have a basement in Texas. I know
Really?
it's still a couple of like the old school houses. They used to have basements. It's still some that do, but I don't think it's against the law to have a basement. You just have to get somebody to. You have to get your house probably built like customized for them to. Because they're like houses don't come with basements these days. You're not
Right.
gonna buy a house.
But
already.
I thought that was because like we're like right close to sea level or something like that, so they couldn't go underneath or something.
Let me see basements.
Well, bitch, I just have some goddamn fish at the bottom of my feet because I prefer
Because a
that
lot of
place.
places do have basements. A lot of places do have basements, but Texas is not that common. But I thought it was because like we're like on sea level or something like that.
I don't know.
It's like the same
But all
reason
I
we
know
really
is
don't
I
have
don't
any
want trees.
subways. That's why they can't really do subways.
Oh, please.
It's been to malls where there's malls underground. So you can have an underground mall. You can have a
we
damn
have
basement.
what is it downtown? We
They
have
had, they had so you can have a damn basement. If you got a tunnel, you can have a basement.
What does it say?
It says it's not illegal, but it's unnecessary. That's a lie. See, they're already telling us wrong.
It's very necessary.
Not illegal, but it's unnecessary. We don't have coal burning furnace. In many Texas landscapes, basements are difficult or at least relatively expensive to build. In Texas, many institutional buildings and some commercial buildings have basements, but it's rare for residentials to have them. So it's not illegal.
Rare, but not impossible.
I think because let me see, it says
because they say we don't need them, but we have tornadoes and we have hurricanes.
It says Texas soil is not basement friendly. Some areas are hard limestone that's very difficult and expensive to cut through to dig out a basement. So it's expensive, basically.
Yeah.
So that's why they're not. So that's why they're not spending like building houses with basements because it's just gonna be much money,
expensive.
But if you want
a good idea, Steph, then have a little bunker underneath it. Or
I already thought about it after this.
I feel like if with these people who got all this money to build these expensive houses, they got money to build a basement. I may not have it, but somebody does, so they can show that it's possible. Granted, it may be expensive, but if you got $1 million house, you can afford it down $500,000 basement.
So this is the thing. You have to analyze your hurricanes because some hurricanes bring a lot of rain and you don't want to be in the basement.
Steph, you sounded just like Davis talking about you gotta analyze.
But if you have a windy hurricane coming through, lock your ass in the goddamn basement. But if you
Yeah,
know
that
that
makes sense.
it's gonna be
I
some
mean,
go
you
get
really don't know. You don't know until you know.
Maybe that's part of the reason why, because Houston gets flooded all the time. So if Texas is getting half flooded, that means if we have a basement, that basement's gonna get flooded all the time.
yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
But
goddamn, it sounds like we screwed either way.
I mean, you just gotta look. You just gotta
How
stay.
about an attic?
Like they say, you gotta
Your
stay.
attic gonna be the first thing up out of the tree. You can't get an attic.
That's true.
It's gonna be gone by the. You gonna be smushing your attic with a tree.
Can you
That's
imagine
true.
that? You hiding in the basement, this tornado coming by, you come outside, everything gone, your whole house gone. You coming out the basement to nothing.
Knock on wood. That's...
Shit. I ain't got no wood to
This
knock
too
on.
much. I don't like the adulting because
She
this
says
is too
it's
much. You can't just you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Like, goddamn.
Definitely.
There's no winning here.
You can always get a boat. Get a boat.
Get a boat? That is a good thing. My boat ain't gonna flood.
What?
I mean, it might get rain. Well, if I put a little cover on, it ain't
but
gonna
make
get
sure
rain.
don't go get one of them little bitty kayaks.
A boat is expensive.
They
It
are
is
expensive.
but your life is precious. It's priceless.
It's worth it. Absolutely.
So I will
My
invest.
brother, my
I had a
brother-in-law was telling me,
neighbor in Northwood Manor. He had a boat. I said, "What the fuck he got a boat for?" But then I realized why he had that damn boat.
he said it's about $600 or $700 to fill up those boats, and he has maybe like an
Fill them
8-person
up with
boat.
what, gas?
Mm-hmm. Boats are a luxury.
I mean, I got fed up. I just put like 300 in there.
It's not gonna last all day. That's what the issue
But,
is.
I mean, at the end of the day, they'll float. I mean, they'll
Get
float.
the
You don't
fucking canoe in that bitch down the street.
Hey, survival mode. At least the damn
We might need to invest in canoes. You're right. Canoes are the
crocodile.
cheaper option.
No, because the crocodile's gonna eat the canoes. They gonna flip you all
It
over.
ain't no crocodiles. Chill out. We ain't got that over here.
Where the crocodiles come from?
I mean the alligators.
This is not Louisiana.
That's what I was gonna say.
No, but they would travel.
Oh, you know what? Fuck the crocodiles. We have sharks in Texas now.
They have been in
That's-
Galveston. They have
We
been in
gonna have
Galveston.
jaws all over us.
I ain't gonna lie. When they said Beryl was coming, that's the first thing I thought of is them damn sharks.
Bitch,
I
I'd
was
be
like-
scared of fucking ants, water ants floating around in goddamn water. That's why I can't walk through that shit.
She said water ants.
No,
The fire ants don't die. They be swimming. No, thank you.
don't be surprised. I'm getting a boat. I promise y'all, we getting
We
a
can
boat.
go. We can go in thirds on that bitch. We gotta get a boat. Put in threes.
Yep. We
Boats
couple.
are expensive.
It gotta be
couple
enough
each
for all of our
other.
families, though. At least our immediate families. I can't save
You want
everybody,
a
but I can
yacht.
save mine.
You don't want a boat. You want a
But
yacht.
this is the thing, Shay, you the one live the furthest. So we're gonna use all the gas trying to get to you.
No, bitch, y'all are the furthest. Goddamn, why the fuck I gotta live the furthest?
Trying to
To
get out
me,
from
y'all are the
downtown.
furthest.
We're inside the Beltway.
Will, come rescue me.
Well, technically, I'm outside of the Beltway.
Yeah, you're outside.
And
I'm the only
I'm on the Beltway. I am on the Beltway. I'm not
Okay.
the furthest.
Oh.
You should
So y'all putting-
she's the closest to you, but I'm on the Beltway.
So y'all putting the gas in the boat. That's all I'm gonna say. Because y'all are the ones that live on the outskirts. That's all I'm gonna say. I'll provide the food.
I'll provide the barbecue pit.
I provide the liquor.
We want to thank you for tuning into our podcast. Again, if you enjoyed our content, please subscribe to our channel, like, and comment. While you're at it, follow us on all streaming platforms. Also, follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Like and comment. Also, if you have a topic that you would like for us to discuss, or if you'd like to be a guest on our podcast, feel free to email us. We will respond promptly. Again, thank you and see you next week for your weekly scoop serving. Peace.
Bye. Now you're yawning.
Not you yawning.